Okay, once you've wired in the psychoanalyst, it's now time to secure it to the plastic on the bike. What we're doing is we're scoping out where the high points are, where the plastic of the psychoanalyst meets that of the bike, and putting double-sided tape down. We're going to use that instead of the cable ties that I mentioned earlier to hold it down temporarily while the silicon dries. So what I'm doing, on the two high points, there and there, putting down some double-sided tape, like so. Always good to measure it against, repeatedly. Measure twice, cut once. Excellent. Once we've done that, we can get our silicon, and we just about heap it on, because we've got to make up for all the valleys. And there's quite a lot of them. It's usually easier to use one of the pump guns to get the silicon on. Starting to wish I did now.
I've got a pump gun there if you want.
Yeah, I think I'll see how it goes. See if my thumb gets tired before I've finished. You will need to use a fairly large amount of silicon. Because you have to put enough on so that it seals up again. There's a lot of stuff behind this panel that's not waterproof. You've got the charger, but I mean that is for the most part waterproof. Oh, neck. I won't kid you, silicon is messy stuff when it's not yet set. Move it back. Push it in place like
You're taking
so.
the tape off the double side, or the paper off the double-sided tape?
That would be good to remember.
Oh.
You do get some silicon on yourself. Don't worry, it's not hazardous, but it is nearly impossible to get back off again. And practically this stuff, once it's dry, it ain't ever coming off. You have to like cut it off. Doing just put a bit more to seal up that hole. It's usually useful to have a rag on hand as well to wipe off the excess, because like I say, if you get some stuff anywhere else and you care if it's going to be a bit untidy, it's nearly impossible to get back off again.
Stop filming.
Yep. Okay, the very last thing we have to do is do the pre-charge, put the Anderson's together and wire it all up. So, you know, as before, you put one side of the Anderson's in, and then using your pre-charger, you connect one side to somewhere handy, I think there, usually. The side of the BMS module is usually a pretty good spot. And then connect this down there-ish. What we'd like to do is turn off the BMS. Now that's interesting, I wonder why it's staying on. 32.5 volts. That's not right. Something's trying to turn on. I wonder what's trying to turn on. I was drawing 0.3 amps. Now the cycle analyst should turn on. Now sometimes for some reason the bike will try and turn on, so you just turn the ignition switch on and then off again. Now once your voltage has reached, sort of 130, roughly pack voltage, it stops rising. I'm going to clip that on so it stays. Don't know where I'm going to clip it on actually. Clearly I need to use larger alligator clips. There we go. Once again, on, off. Much better. Okay. Right, once we confirm that you got full traction voltage, then's the time when we connect it back up.
Stop filming?
Yes please. Yes. Okay, so once you're pre-charged, your cycle analyst will be on. What you want to do is hold down the left hand button until it says setup. Then the right hand button. And what we want to do is go to the advanced settings. We want to go to high range. Yep, we want to set the range to high. And we want to set the resistance of the shunt. Now the resistance of the shunt in milliohms will be would be the 75 millivolts divided by the number of amps. In the case of the 100 amp 75 millivolts 100 amp 75 millivolt shunt, it will be 0.75 milliohms. To set it, all you do is hit the right button. Alright, basically you just keep hitting the right button one by one until you go all the way to the end. There's lots of stuff. Aha! Even set up. Now at the end of it, it should be showing 0 amps when your bike's off. The bike is drawing a small amount of current. It's actually about 0.07 amps, but it's below the sort of 0.1 that triggers it to go above 0. Now at the end of every charge, you will have to reset it because it will show a negative amp hour value. But once you're seeing that, you're all done. Now it's time to put the bike back together. Stop filming, please.